Hi, thank you for joining me. I'm Bianca and I am the founder of The Stress-Free Life, and I'm really delighted that you decided to join me today talking about how to stop being taken for granted in a relationship. And you know what? I've just had a client who's come in who I've been working with, and what we've realised is her problems with relationships, both in her personal life and her professional life, her relationship with her boss and her relationship with her employees. There's a couple of similarities that are causing her problems. So what would be great is if you like what I'm going to say to you today and you find it helpful, there's going to be some real actionable tips for you to take away if anything resonates with you. I'm going to be going through about how you create that culture of appreciation in any relationship you're in. So you're appreciated and you're appreciating. But we're going to be thinking about how you define your role in that relationship. How do you create those boundaries? You know what I mean? Those boundaries where you say, this is what I'm willing to do. This is what, I'll do because I know it's going to help me in the long run. And this is where I'm not willing to go. This is what I'm not willing to do, and this is where I learn to say no. And we're also going to think about how we break that drama triangle where you create that same problem over and over again. So I'm going to be giving you real actionable tips, and it's going to help you, and that's the whole point of this. So if you like what I'm saying and you're finding it helpful, then why not hit the subscribe button, or join the Facebook group Stress-Free Life, or join the LinkedIn group. It's called The Stress-Free Life, and there's lots of opportunities for you to engage with me and get the resources you need to get that best life. The key is understanding what you want from your life. And we're going to focus on relationships because that's a big part of anyone's life, isn't it? God, I'm gurning a lot, so I'll try and stop. And it's about understanding how your relationship affects your happiness, how it affects your success. And that's why we're doing it, isn't it? Right, when we think about how we don't live in this bubble with just us. We interact with other people, we interact with loved ones, we interact with employees, with friends, with boss, colleagues, husbands, wives, partners, whoever it is. We are social beings and we have relationships that we need to nurture. And like most things, relationships are like an investment bank. If you don't invest in a relationship and do what it takes to get the best out of it, that bank seems going to be empty. And you probably have had those times when your bucket is empty. You felt drained. You have felt that you are giving everything you can and not getting anything back. Because I know I used to, when I used to be working really, really hard, going up that sort of downhill escalators, kind of walking, feeling like I was getting nowhere. What I wasn't actually seeing was the massive progresses I was making. I didn't really appreciate myself. So without further ado, this is about how you stop taking yourself for granted, how you stop being taken for granted, and how you can really get that clarity in your life about what that relationship is serving. What purpose is it there? What are you hoping to get out of it? Because we choose to invest in relationships. Because at any stage we can choose to step away from it, whether it's a job or a partner. There's lots of things, even your kids. I'm not saying do walk away from your kids, but you choose, if you have children, to be a mother, and you choose to look after your children. And I want you to carry on doing that. But it's a choice to be a good mum. It's not a legal requirement. There are lots of bad mums out there. You choose to be a good one. There is nothing stopping you walking away. I don't want you to do that, but I want you to recognize that there's a choice, that there's nothing making you do or be anything. Because when we recognize that we have the choice, we start feeling empowered and in control. And that's always better, isn't it? When we're feeling we have choices, we're feeling we can choose. So the first thing I want to go through, point number 1, how do you create a culture of appreciation? And this can be applied to anywhere in your life, whether it's at home, with your kids, with your partner. How do you, with your employees and your boss or your working team, create a culture of appreciation? And I really want you to think about that. How do you demonstrate appreciation? What are the things you do that make people feel appreciated? How do your kids know that you appreciate them? How does your husband know? Because actually, if we want to be appreciated, we need to demonstrate those behaviours. We need to show people how to do it, because then we create that snowball effect. I also want you to think about what are the small things you can do, because you can show it. Say it. You can say, I appreciate you. But how do you really sincerely show it on a regular basis? Because the thing is, we all have our filters. We all have our way of doing things. And I want you to start noticing, how does my husband or wife or partner show appreciation for me? Because there's going to be a way you show appreciation. You're going to leave little love notes or little gifts, or you're going to say thank you, or you're going to, I don't know, do something nice for that person to show appreciation. Now, the thing is, the person you're in a relationship with may not be showing it the same way as you, but it doesn't mean they don't appreciate you. And they may be doing a whole load of stuff that you're not even noticing. Those little things, I'm thinking about the client I was working with earlier. She kind of realised that actually he did quite a lot of things, but she never really showed a lot of appreciation. Well, that's just what he did. She was taking him for granted as much as he was taking her for granted. So she really went away and thought, you know what are the little things that he does that I don't notice? Because then we're starting to look between the lines. We're looking at what is beneath the water. So that's the first thing. Really look at the things that they are already doing to show appreciation. There's going to be some. You're not going to notice them. They might have turned into white noise, because in relationships, a lot of the stuff we do turns into white noise. And I get that. I've been married 10 years and it just sometimes feels like you're a well-oiled machine, doing the do, getting the kids, doing packed lunches, sort of passing ships in the night sometimes. My husband works very different hours to me. So actually when we're together, it's like, this is the time we have to just sort of organise and make sure and tick, and me and my strategic brain. And actually, how do I show appreciation for him? I'm trying to think. I say thank you a lot. But what I also do is recognise what he does. And I make a real effort to notice, but also even the little things, like thank you for putting my toothbrush on the charger, or thank you for like making the bed. Actually, I make that bed, but if he does, then I really appreciate it. But that goes on to the second point, which is in relationships, whether it's at work, whether it's sort of partners, we kind of develop this set of unwritten roles. Do you know what I mean? You probably get this. Like, I'm the recycle bin person and he's the black bin person, and we just do it when it's empty or full. And we never actually sat down one day and said, okay, who's going to be the black bin person? Who's going to be the recycle bin person who takes the trash out? But it kind of, we just adopt these roles that then become ours. And what can happen is, while we are adopting these roles and we just get on with it, we kind of feel that we're doing it all, but we're not realising what they're doing while we're doing what we're doing. So I really want you to just think, okay, what are the unwritten roles that we have, that we use to divide and conquer our lives? You know, is it the fact that, you know, you do all the sort of kids' school stuff, you know, that comes home? Or is it you that does all the admin and paperwork? Is it him who does, I don't know, in my case, I do DIY as well. I was going to say DIY, but that was very gender specific, wasn't it? My husband does DIY. Actually, no, I do that, and he does the washing. But it's about recognising what you do and also appreciating what you do and appreciating what you do well. But I always think when I'm working with clients, it's really useful to spend some time, if not writing it down by hand, but actually thinking through all the little day-to-day routine, monotonous jobs that you both do. Recognising what, because we kind of are so busy looking at the big picture, sometimes we don't see those really small little tasks that keep the cogs oiled. So I want you to really, at the end of this, go away. And I always think, well, when I'm working with clients and I'm doing relationship coaching, really important to recognise what you're doing, because sometimes if you're an active thinker and you're an active person, you can kind of get in this loop of thinking, I'm doing it all. And then you get resentful, and then you get frustrated, and you feel isolated. Have you ever felt that way? That I have to do everything. And the truth is you don't. A, you don't have to do it. B, you probably are seeing it as much bigger than it actually is. And C, if you are doing everything, change that, because that's not fair. A relationship is 50-50. If you are doing everything, be prepared to delegate, but also be prepared for them not to do it as well as you initially. Because that's the thing, so many of my clients, when I'm working with them, what they'll say is, oh yeah, I gave it to him, but he didn't do it right. So I just said, oh, forget it, I'll do it. What they didn't allow was the other person who was willing to do their bit to learn, to make mistakes, to progress and get to the level of competence that they're at. We didn't pop out of the womb being good at ironing. We didn't pop out of the womb being good at admin or finance management. It was a learnt skill, okay? And you went through a period of learning, and it's about how do you support that person to get to that period of learning, just as you would in work. You employ someone, they need training, they need support, they need nurturing and encouragement to get to the place where you want them to be. And while your partner isn't an employee, it follows the same process. That you want to help support them if you're delegating, instead of just saying, oh, forget it, I'll do it myself. Just be easier and quicker. Because actually it won't. Because all that's happened is you're still going to have to do it, and now you're even more frustrated and more resentful that you're having to do it. So that's the thing. List your unwritten roles. I say rules, I don't know, getting caught in boundaries. List unwritten roles. The ones that you've just adopted, the person who does, I don't know, the little things, hoovering, the person who tidies up the craft drawer. In my case, I'm the craft person and I do that. That's my stuff. He does homework drawer, that's his stuff. He has, there's lots of things we do that we don't notice we're doing. Be aware if you're creating a drama triangle. Briefly, what I mentioned in point 2 was that we do have a tendency to play the hard done by. I've got so much to do. Why is it all me? Why do I have to do everything? And what we're doing is perpetuating and continuing an unhealthy thinking habit. So we need to learn how to recognize when we're creating drama, and we need to learn to break the drama triangle. Now, the drama triangle is quite complicated, so I'm going to do a whole video on this one separate because quite a few people have asked me about this. But it's essentially you have a role within an unhealthy social interaction. And it was created by Stephen Karpman off the screen. He was a psychotherapist, and what he looked at how we can generate and create and prolong conflict in a relationship. And it applies to work, it applies to home, it applies to your kids, it applies to your parents. Any relationship you have, we can sometimes unknowingly get in a drama triangle. And there's 3 roles people can take in a drama triangle. One is looking at victim, being the person feeling powerless, unable to change, that their life's really hard, and look at all the stuff I've got to do. You've got the rescuer. The rescuer is the person trying to help the victim, always trying to be the enabler, trying to fix their problems. They tend to be more of the martyr, sort of helping someone, because they need your help. And then you've got the persecutor, who is, the person who comes in quite tough. And we tend to take all of these roles in any relationship. You don't tend to be one or the other. You'll flip between the different sort of stages of a relationship, depending on which relationship you're talking about. When we're looking at persecutors, they'll be the one who criticize or blame the victims. Well, it's their fault. It's not my problem. If you have to sort it. They'll be the ones that are often quite critical and sort of like, well, just get on with it. Stop moaning. And they'll often be feeling sort of a little bit inadequate themselves. They won't feel that they have the capacity to support that person, nor do they have the desire. They've got enough on their plate. And understanding that sometimes you can be the person saying, you know what, it's too much. I can't do anything about it. I'm trapped. I'm powerless. Oh, poor me. We can also often play the rescuers. Oh, I have to help. I have to help my brother. I have to help. I have to do this. These people need me. They need my help. You know, that kind of creates that external validation we need, that we're needed. But often underneath that is resentment or frustration. We call it martyrdom, when you always have to be there for someone else. And you know what? You're going to resonate with this. Some of this is going to say, yep, I do that. And some of it you go, I know a person who definitely does that. And you may see parts of your partner or the person in the relationship doing that. And it often also can be the persecutor, where you're just like, I can't be bothered to deal with this. I don't want to be dealing with this rubbish. They deal with it. It's nothing to do with me. Just get on with it. I can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. And it's about understanding, you know what, if we're looking to be the victim, or we're looking to rescue people, or we're looking to persecute people, we're going to create an unhealthy relationship continuing, and it's only going to get worse and it's going to snowball. So it's really saying, you know, what is the positive outcome I am looking for? How am I going to get to this place? Because being a victim and trying to rescue people and persecute people, none of those are going to help. We all know what helps gets to positive outcomes, whether it's at work, whether it's at home. It's nurturing, it's encouraging, it's supporting. It's not doing it for them. And so those are the ways that we can stop being for granted. And if you relate to that and you can say, yep, I know sometimes I play the victim, please put in the comments below. If you know sometimes you can be the rescuer, or you know someone who tends to be that person who goes, oh, I have to help all these people out. You know, I've got to go to my mum's and then I've got to go, then let me know, because I want to know that this resonates with you. And if you're interested, then join up for the mailing list, and I'll keep you updated on all the next videos where I go into the drama triangle in more detail. But it's about really understanding, what am I doing that's creating that I'm being taken for granted? And what we're doing is saying, actually, do I take myself for granted? Do I really say, well done? So this is point number 4. Do not take yourself for granted. Start appreciating what you do. And really lie in bed, rather than thinking about all the stuff you've got to do, lie in bed tonight and think about all the stuff you've done well. Because when we don't take ourselves for granted, when we appreciate ourselves, we don't need that external validation so much from everyone saying, well done, you did a really good job. What we're doing is saying, I know I'm doing a really good job. I know how much I've done. And I don't have to worry about what I haven't done so much. Or at least we're creating balance. Understanding what you do that you appreciate, because when you don't take yourself for granted and you appreciate yourself, other people will appreciate you more. And also you won't feel resentful that you're not getting that external validation. You'll probably be saying in bed when you're with your partner, or when you go into the boss and they go, how are you doing? You'll say, I'm really proud. I did these things yesterday, or I did these things today. Rather than people going, hi, how's it going? And you go, yeah, fine. Or like, how are you doing today? Yeah, right, busy or a bit tired. And people say, how are you? You can say, I'm really proud. I'm proud of me. Guess what I did yesterday? And people go, oh, wow, she's one of those achievers. She's an actionista. And it's about saying, how do you promote that from within? Everything we do starts from with us. So what you're looking to get from other people, give to yourself first. So just a quick recap. Point 1, to stop being taken for granted, it's really about creating that culture of appreciation. How do you show appreciation to other people? How do people know that you appreciate them? And how do you create that culture of appreciation? Within your organisation, or within your home organisation, your family. Yeah, I know, I do relate to home and work, but for me, one and the same. And also think about number 2, those unwritten roles that we do, the little things that we pick up that just kind of get done without being noticed. Think about your PA, you know, those little things that they do for you that you don't even notice. Or your partner, the little things that you do, that they do, and really take time to notice them. And if you're feeling that's out of sync, write them down. Get them to write down theirs. If you think you're doing too much, let's have a look at everything and create that balance and say, actually, my list is bigger than yours. I'm going to hand some stuff over. I think the third one, is breaking that drama triangle, understanding when we're creating that mindset where we're a victim or we're trying to rescue someone and creating this kind of, oh, I've got so much to do, and you're taking yourself for granted. And the fourth one is creating that self-appreciation so that you don't ever even say, I'm being taken for granted. You recognize that you appreciate what you're doing. And if there's a problem that needs to be fixed, you'll fix it. But you're not seeing there as a problem, you're seeing their solutions. So I hope those are being really useful today. I really would love you to click subscribe. I need more followers. I want to share the amazing stuff that I am giving out for free to help people improve their lives, real actionable things. And I can only do that with your help. I need you to join my Facebook groups. I need you as much as you need me. Let's create that relationship where we're working together and supporting each other to make women stronger. Take care.